What is up, everybody? Nick Fiore, Fiore Station YouTube channel, right here on YouTube. I know this is a week late, but wrapping up college stuff. In fact, I wrap up college work, in fact, next week. Then I graduate on Friday, May the 1st, May the 21st of this year. I graduate from college with a major in camera communications. So that's that. So finished with me taking 2 college classes this year for the spring semester. Finished one class this week. Glad that's out of the way. Second class, I'm finishing that up next week. So thank goodness for that. And I wanted to do the SmackDown review actually 2 days ago or earlier in the week, actually, the SmackDown review, but I had some shit going on with I had an art college class final this week. Hold on a minute. Ignore that, guys. Sorry about that little technical difficulty. Anyways, yeah. My mom, though, she knows I'm doing the Furious Nation channel, and she appreciates me doing it, and I'm doing it because, you know. Anyways, and also with the TV as well. I don't know if that's too loud for you, but if you hear something in the background, that's the TV downstairs going on. So just in case you're wondering. But anyways, so I know I wanted to do this earlier in the week, but had to get ready, but had to prepare myself for the my art college class final and shit this week. Did it the final yesterday, got it done. Now that's done and out of the way. Then with my screenwriting class in college wrapping up next week and such, and then college class is over, and thank God this semester of college is coming to an end, and I'm graduating this May. So thank goodness for that. So college classes are pretty much over. Thank fucking God for that. And now yeah, so I know this is a week late, but I wanted to get this in before SmackDown tonight. This video right here is the review video for SmackDown from last week, April the 23rd of 2021, the second SmackDown after WrestleMania 37. And SmackDown last week was a good show. Where is this SmackDown from the SmackDown after me? Adam and I, my buddy Adam and I, we said that we were saying, like, where was this with the SmackDown after Mania for this year? Oh, that's right. Vince didn't want the SmackDown after Mania to be more talked about than the Raw after Mania, so that's why that happened. But Raw, the worst show on television. Raw is the absolute worst show on television, man. When you have the Raw main event scene of T-Bar, Mace, Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and it's like when you have that for your main event scene on Raw, and then when you have that main event scene for Raw, the SmackDown main event scene be Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and Cesaro. It's like night with the Raw main event scene and the SmackDown main event scene. It's like night and day for the main event program for Raw and the main event program for Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. It is, guys, it is literally like night and day. Night and day. And it showed here with the opening segment. Speaking of the opening segment, and I might as well start off the review right here. And this is the review video for SmackDown last week, April 23rd of 2021, the second SmackDown after WrestleMania of this year. A good show, much better than Raw. and all. So the show starts off. So SmackDown last week, show starts off with an in-ring segment with Cesaro. Cesaro's in the ring. He starts off the show. He's in the middle of the ring with a mic in his hands. He's standing in the ring, but as Cesaro was about to say something, Seth Rollins cut him off. He interrupts him. Seth interrupts Cesaro before Cesaro could say a word. Seth congratulates Cesaro on fulfilling his potential by beating Seth himself at WrestleMania 37. Seth says that Cesaro was able to do so because he was in the ring with the new Mr. WrestleMania himself. I don't know if I'd say that, Mr. Rollins. Mr. WrestleMania Seth Rollins. Seth, you clown. Shawn Michaels would like to have a word with you because he is Mr. WrestleMania. I like you, Seth Rollins, but Mr. WrestleMania Seth Rollins, I'm gonna have to disagree with that, Mister. I'm gonna have to disagree with that, Mr. Rollins. Just saying. I like you, Seth, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Seth. On the Mr. WrestleMania line, Mr. Rollins. The form Seth then says that he took Cesaro to the promised land and he demands a thank you. He questions Cesaro's championship aspirations and says this is not over until he says it's over. Rollins blames the rain delay for his loss at WrestleMania because Cesaro couldn't beat him at his worst. Cesaro then challenges Rollins to a rematch, and the Messiah then walks to the ring, prepared to accept it. But then Jey Uso interrupts, and he confronts, and he says Cesaro doesn't belong in the same ring as the head of the table, the tribal chief Roman Reigns. Then Uso says he wants to teach Cesaro a lesson, but Rollins talks to him so they can attack Cesaro together. Jey Uso and Seth Rollins both surround the ring, with Cesaro being outnumbered, but then Daniel Bryan comes to Cesaro's rescue and aid. Daniel Bryan then gets in the ring. He evens the odds, and then Bryan's in the ring. He has a mic, and he summarizes why all three men came out to the arena. Daniel Bryan says that he came to the ring to ensure that Cesaro gets what he deserves. Bryan then states that he respects Cesaro because of his hard work, and Bryan then states that Cesaro has worked harder than everyone, including Roman Reigns. Bryan then insults Reigns by saying he doesn't like to wrestle. Bryan then says he dares anyone to come fight him and Cesaro, and then Reigns comes to the stage. Reigns then comes out and he recaps how he defeated Edge and Bryan when he pinned both Edge and Bryan at the same time at WrestleMania this year, which was fantastic. And then Roman calls Bryan to Cesaro main event losers. Roman then says he warns Cesaro that he's surrounded by people who want to beat him up. And then we go to commercial and then such. Then we got the opening match of the show. Tag team match, Cesaro and Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins and Jey Uso. We had a very good match here. This match pretty much, this thing and all right here, the segment stuff right here, pretty much took up most of the first hour of SmackDown from last week. This tag team match, a really good match here. Went 45 minutes, I think. At least 30, 45 minutes, but they took up a lot of the chunk of the first hour of SmackDown last week, I believe. I think they took up at least 30, 45 minutes. I think it took up at least 30 to 45 minutes of the first hour of SmackDown from last week, but there was like 3-4 commercials in this match, and my buddy Adam and I were watching them, and we're watching this together with SmackDown last week, and I'm like, and they go to their third or fourth commercial during this match thing and all right here, and it's like 3-4 commercials in this single match. It's like, talk about overkill, man. Like, I understand a commercial or two, but 3 to 4 commercials or 5 commercials and the match going on television, it takes away from the entire match. It really does. It takes away from the match. And I mean, I understand you need to make money with revenue and all, but geez, man, enough with it. It's like 3, 4, 5 commercials in a match. Come on. Come on. I don't like that. 3 to 4 commercials, at least in a single match on television. I do not like that at all. At all. It just really takes away from the entire match, if you ask me. It really does. It's like, again, I understand you need to make money with ad revenue. I believe me, I get it. I understand businesses need to make money, but Jesus Christ, like if you're gonna do, like, but Jesus Christ, it's like 3 to 4 commercials or more with one match. With one match, come on, you got to do better than that, man. Got to do better than that, man. Do better, do better. But despite all the commercials, this was a very good match nonetheless. These guys went 30, 45 minutes last week, and they just really let these 4 guys wrestle, and a really good match right here, man. Really good match right here, man. We had Rollins. We had Rollins doing a power bomb to Bryan in the corner. Rollins does his frog splash. Cesaro breaks up the pin after a frog splash. Cesaro dodges dodges, and how Cesaro usually breaks up a pinfall. Cesaro does this to break up the pin. We had Rollins and Uso taking control and grounding down Bryan for several minutes. Bryan makes the tag to Cesaro. Cesaro gets the hot tag. Cesaro cleans house, and he drills Jey Uso with a clothesline. Cesaro then goes for the swing, but Uso escapes it. But then Cesaro blasts him with the springboard uppercut, which looked nice. Cesaro has some really nice uppercuts right there, and I really like it. Cesaro then hits a pop-up uppercut, the catapult mid-air European uppercut that Cesaro usually does. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Cesaro hits that on Jey Uso for a very near fall. So that looked nice. Rollins and Bryan then battle. Bryan dives onto Seth on the outside with a suicide dive. Cesaro then nails Uso with another uppercut once again. But Uso catches him with the super kick. Rollins escapes the swing. Cesaro then locks in the sharpshooter, but Uso breaks it up with the super kick. And then Rollins, and this was the ending, and this was towards the ending of this match. Seth Rollins then walks out on Jey Uso. Rollins just walks up the ramp. He walks away from his partner, Jey Uso. Cesaro then capitalizes on this, and he does a deadlift superplex. Bryan gets tagged in, hits the running knee. 1, 2, 3. Daniel Bryan pins Jey Uso. And Daniel Bryan and Cesaro win this match in a very good match with the first opening match of SmackDown from last week. Then after this match, Bryan and Cesaro were still in the ring. Bryan has a mic. He's sitting on the top turnbuckle with Bryan with a mic in his hand. Bryan calls for Roman Reigns to come out. He jokes about Roman's threats. Bryan says, "Hey Roman, Cesaro is deserving of facing you, Roman. So Roman, if you're," and this is what Bryan said, something like that last week on SmackDown. Bryan was like, "Hey Roman, if you're such a champion, you'd come out and accept Cesaro's challenge. Are you scared of Cesaro, Roman? If not, you would come out here and take the challenge, Mr. Roman, Mr. Head of the Table." Cesaro then catches a charging Jey Uso, and he swings him multiple repetitions. And then Bryan counts 1, 2, 3, 4 with the amount of Cesaro swing repetitions that Cesaro was doing on Jey Uso. And then Bryan's like, "Hey Roman, come out, save your cousin. Cesaro wants to start against you, Roman. And hey, look, Roman, you're not gonna save your family, Jey Uso, Mr. Reigns." Bryan was saying to Cesaro last week. I chuckled. And then Cesaro, after he does multiple swings on Jey Uso, then Cesaro with an uppercut to Jey Uso, and Bryan's like, oh, bam. And then Bryan and Cesaro then both continue to wait for Roman to come out. And then Bryan's like, oh, so you're not going to come out, Roman? Such a champion. And Cesaro's like, he wouldn't even come here to save his own bloodline, his own family. Cesaro was saying that last week. And then Bryan tells Cesaro to then swing Jey Uso again. And he does. More repetitions of the Cesaro swing to Jey Uso from the Swiss Cyborg himself. And then Bryan is like, and then Bryan says that Reigns is afraid of Cesaro because he knows he'd lose the title to him in a match with the Swiss Cyborg, says Daniel Bryan. And that was that. Very good opener to open SmackDown. Again, main event scene on Raw, main event scene on SmackDown, it's legit like night and day. It's like the Raw main event side things, like the main event side things of Raw with a WWE Championship situation. You got Mace, you got T-Bar, you got Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman, and Drew McIntyre. And then you got the SmackDown main event Universal title picture. You got Roman Reigns, you got Daniel Bryan, and you got Cesaro. Do you see the difference with the main event program of Raw and the main event program of SmackDown? Do you see the difference there? One is here, Raw main event program. SmackDown main event program is here. Raw main event program is here. SmackDown main event program is here. Very big difference between both main event programs. Guys, it is literally like night and day. The SmackDown main event program is so much better than the Raw main event program. And if you don't see that, I don't know what the hell you're watching, dude. Seriously. Braun Strowman is the one-trick pony. They fucked McIntyre over twice with the WWE title. Lashley I like, but he's not doing anything for the Raw ratings as WWE champion. Let's be real here. T-Bar and Mace. There's still T-Bar and Mace. Why can't we get Dijakovic and Dio Madden back? Why we can't get those back is absolutely mind-boggling to me. The Raw main event scene, it's garbage. It sucks. It's a piece of fucking shit. The Raw main event program is a piece of fucking dog shit. SmackDown's is so much better. I cannot say that enough. This was a good opener for SmackDown and a good opening match for SmackDown from a week ago. And then we go backstage. Jey Uso says he's had enough of the disrespect, and then he storms off. And then we get Nia Jax with Shayna Baszler with Shayna Baszler and Reginald versus Tamina with Natalya. I'm not even wasting any time, period, with this shit. We had Tamina versus Nia Jax. And this match, garbage. Tamina sucks. There was one spot in this match where it's like Nia Jax is sitting on the bottom ropes on this one side of the ring. There's Nia Jax. Tamina goes like to Big Boo, and Tamina, she does this and just like Tamina just slipped. I kid you not, like a big fucking botch, big botch. My God. And then you want to know why I shit and why Adam shits on Tamina Snuka. Then you want to know why Tamina Snuka is fucking awful and is dead weight. Tamina sucks. How do you release Samoa Joe? How do you release Mickie James? And how do you release Chelsea Green? But you keep Tamina Snuka. A botch machine. A fucking dead weight, for God's sakes. This woman, Tamina, is lucky to still have a job. She should have been caught on Black Thursday this year. Not Samoa Joe and not Chelsea Green and not Mickie James. Not Mickie James either. Tamina is awful. And then we had Reginald distracting Tamina. That fucking Kofi Kingston looked like Kofi Kingston looked like Reginald. That fucking geek Reginald. He distracts Tamina. Shayna's arguing with Reginald. Nia gets distracted like a dummy. Tamina rolls up Nia for the win. Who cares, man? But wow. And I'm sure, and I know Adam would say this too. Wow, man. I thought Nia was the irresistible force, man. When you're being rolled up by fucking Tamina, when you're rolled up by fucking Tamina via a roll up in a few minutes, you know Nia is not the irresistible force. Nia Jax, some irresistible force, huh? Sure. Yes, some irresistible force you got there, Vince. This was fucking terrible. Nia Jax versus Tamina Snuka. Waste of time. And SmackDown last week was a good show. This is probably the only bad thing of SmackDown from last week. This right here, Tamina Snuka versus Nia Jax. This was awful. If you missed this match, you did not miss a thing with this match. This match was a waste of time. This match was nothing but filler. Nothing but filler. Moving on. And then after this match, Jax, Baszler, and Reginald then try to sort out their issues. Again, waste of time match. But if this gets Baszler away from Nia and Reginald, if this gets Shayna away from Nia and Reginald, then by all means, because Shayna doesn't need Nia Jax. In fact, Nia's just holding Shayna down. I like Shayna Baszler, but she is worth so much. I like Shayna Baszler, but she is worth so much more than being paired with Nia Jax. Nia is just holding her down. Nia is just holding her down. Get Shayna Baszler away from Nia Jax. Nia sucks. And Nia is doing nothing but holding Shayna down. When Shayna doesn't need Nia whatsoever, and Shayna is good enough, and when Shayna doesn't need Nia Jax, and when Shayna is good enough to be on, when the fact of the matter is that Shayna doesn't need Nia, and Shayna is good enough to be on her own. Shayna Baszler doesn't need Nia Jax. Get Shayna away from Nia. That's all I got to say on that. Get Shayna away from Nia. Moving on here. We then get hold on. There we go. And then we go backstage with Kevin Owens. He says he's thrilled to get another shot at the IC title. He says he'd gladly knock Apollo Crews off his perch. Biggie then comes in and he starts to laugh. He says that Owens jumped the line and took his match for Biggie's title. Owens says that Biggie is right, but he won't get his rightful rematch tonight. Owens vows to win the match and take the title for himself. And then we get the next match on the show from SmackDown last week. Intercontinental Championship match. Apollo Crews, the Nigerian Apollo Crews with Commander Aziz. Apollo Crews defending the IC title against Kevin Owens. Apollo Crews and Kevin Owens for the IC title. This was a good match. This was another good match right here. The match started off slowly and Owens gained the upper hand. Owens then hits the running senton and clotheslines to Crews out on the outside of the ring. Commander Aziz then gets in Owens' way, and then this distraction allows Apollo Crews to start taking control. Owens rallies and hits a swanton bomb, but Sami Zayn then comes to the stage and he comes to the stage to distract KO. He then joins the commentary desk, and then Owens maintains the advantage. Owens then drills Crews with a super kick and a clothesline, but the champion then gains some momentum. Crews suplexes Owens. Apollo Crews with 3 German suplexes to Kevin Owens 3 times. Apollo Crews with 3 German suplexes to Apollo Crews with 3 German suplexes to Kevin Owens for a 2 count. Owens hits a cannonball, a couple of them in the corner. Crews kicks out. Apollo Crews dodges a stunner, but Owens hits a pop-up powerbomb for a near fall. and I thought Owens was going to win the title there. Commander Aziz gets up on the apron and he distracts Kevin Owens, and this allows Crews to roll up Owens for the 1-2-3. Apollo Crews beats Kevin Owens, and Apollo Crews retains the Intercontinental title. Then after the match, Owens then drops Crews with a stunner, and Crews sold the shit out of that stunner, man. Holy shit, man. But then Commander Aziz then gets in the ring, and he nails and he hits Kevin Owens with the Nigerian now, aka the Samoan Spike, Shades of Umaga. So I'm glad they're keeping Umaga's legacy alive here with Commander Aziz doing the Samoan Spike. Commander Aziz doing the Nigerian now, or the Samoan Spike. Commander Aziz doing the Samoan Spike on Kevin Owens right here. Shades of Umaga, the Samoan Bulldozer, God rest his soul. So then after Aziz then hits the Samoan Spike on Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn then gets in the ring and he dances over Kevin Owens while Apollo Crews' Nigerian music was going off. Sami's in the ring. He's in the middle of the ring, and he dances over Kevin Owens. He's like, but Sami Zayn, man. Sami Zayn, he is a genius. He is a beast. He is a national treasure. And he is a meme. Sami Zayn is a fucking national treasure, man. One of the best parts of SmackDown is Sami Zayn, man. I watched this and I sat there and I laughed my ass off, man. I sat there and legit laughed my fucking ass off for like 5 minutes, man. That was funny. That shit was fucking funny. Sami Zayn is a genius, man. He really is, and he's a national treasure. And Sami Zayn at this point, he is a meme, man. He is a meme, man. And yeah, but IC title picture on SmackDown. Owens, Zayn, Crews, Big E. I like it. I like it a lot, man. You won't not one complaint from that whatsoever. Not one complaint from that whatsoever. So a good ice. So Owens and Crews IC title, a really good match. Moving on here, we then go backstage with Megan Morant, who is apparently now the new SmackDown backstage interview right now. New one for SmackDown right now, apparently right now. Megan Morant, she's back. She's then backstage interviewing Apollo Crews. She's interviewing Apollo Crews backstage. Apollo says that he retained that, Apollo Crews was talking about him retaining the IC title against Kevin Owens. Said Apollo Crews was saying that. And then Big E, out of nowhere, comes in and he viciously attacks Crews. Officials separate both Big E and Crews, but Big E leaves Crews down and out. Then Commander Aziz sees Apollo down and out. Crews comes to it, and then Commander Aziz, he then sees Crews down and out, and he runs over to Crews, to Commander Aziz, and he's like, and he's like, and he has like, and he's looking at Big E and like, and all, was Commander Aziz thinking about Big E. And then that was that. And then this. And then we get a vignette. Yes, a vignette. Aleister Black. Yes, Aleister Black is fucking back. Finally. Aleister Black, he's been found. He's back. Aleister Black is fucking back, man. He's been found. No more pot roast making for Aleister Black. No more in the closet or the frozen closet or the freezer closet. No more of that for Aleister Black. No more pot roast making. No more catering for Aleister Black. No more pot roast making for Aleister Black. No more pot roast making for Aleister Black. Aleister Black was sick of a damn pot roast. I'm telling you. Paula Cruz was sick of the cupcakes. Commander Aziz was sick of the cornbread. And Aleister Black was sick of the pot roast, man. Aleister Black was sick of the pot roast. He wasn't hungry for pot roast. He was hungry for TV time. So we get a vignette of hyping the return. So we then get a vignette hyping the return of Aleister Black. Like I said, he is back. He's been found. He has been found, man. Aleister Black is fucking back. And I had this on my face, and they had this vignette hyping up his return. Aleister Black, in this vignette, he says he wants people to know the truth. And he reads from a storybook. He talks about the dragon. He describes the story about the dragon, about attending funerals and having a distant father. Black says he was only taught how to become the dragon. Aleister Black then calls the viewers monsters, and he says he'll never be like them. He then criticizes the lies and dissent that they pass down to their children. Aleister Black then says these monsters should be scorched from the earth in favor of more fruitful things, says Aleister Black. And then that was that for the vignette. Very happy that Aleister Black is back, man. Very happy he's back. He's finally been found, and I could not be more happier. Now, I want to say this. Do I trust this company to book him right? I don't. But if you're gonna have him back and push him, you need to fucking push this guy. And I'm telling you this right now. It's their last chance with Aleister Black. And I'm saying this right now. And if Adam was here with me, Adam and I would tell you this right now. You either go all in with Aleister Black with a fucking push, or it's a fucking bust. You either go all in with Aleister Black with a fucking push, you either go all in with this guy, or you either go all in. If you're gonna bring him back and have him on TV, have him in the ring, and if you're gonna push this guy, you need to go in with Aleister Black. Otherwise, don't waste our fucking time. Seriously, you either go all in with Aleister Black or fucking miss. You either go all in with Aleister Black or fucking bust. I'm telling you right now. Aleister Black can be something big in the company. Like years ago, people were saying this guy. Some people even years ago were even comparing this guy Aleister Black as the next Undertaker, with the entrance and the appearance and everything about him. The music, the entrance, everything about the character of Aleister Black, everything about it. No reason to not push Aleister Black. No reason to not push this fucking guy. And Roman needs challengers. And if built up properly, if you want someone to take the title off Roman when the time is right, Aleister Black could be that guy to do that. If Aleister Black is built up properly, and if he takes the title off Roman when the time is right, Aleister Black, I'd be okay with it. The guy deserves a push. He deserves a push. Roman should never lose the title, not anytime soon at least, but Roman should hold the title until WrestleMania next year or until WrestleMania 39 in 2023. But when the time is right, but if you want Black to beat Roman for the title when the time is right, if Black is built up properly, then I'd be fine with it. But with Aleister Black, you gotta build him up properly. Give him some vignettes, like with SmackDown last week. Give Aleister Black some wins. Give him some momentum, like you're doing with Cesaro right now. Give Aleister Black some momentum. Give the guy momentum. No reason to not push Aleister Black. You either go all in with Aleister Black or bust. I'm telling you right now. If it's a bust, then why waste our fucking time? Aleister Black needs to be pushed. If he's back, push him. If he's back, you need to fucking push this guy. You need to go all in with this fucking guy. Push this guy to the moon. You either go all in with Aleister Black or fucking bust. I'm telling you right now, it's either all in with Aleister Black or bust. If you're gonna go all in with Aleister Black, you need to go all in. You need to go all in with Aleister Black, and if you're gonna go all in with Aleister Black, you need to go straight ahead, no looking back, no hitting the brakes once, and no fucking boo-boos with Aleister Black if you're going all in with the guy. I want to see no fucking misses. I want to see no fucking boo-boos. I want to see no fucking misses, and I want to see no fucking break stoppings. I want to see none of that if you're gonna go all in with Aleister Black. You either go all in with Aleister Black or bust. If you don't go all in with the guy, then why the fuck did you bring him back? If you're gonna bring back Aleister Black, push him. He can be something big in the company. The guy can be the face. The guy can be the face of a brand as a world champion. The guy can be the face of any brand or any company or any show if given the opportunity. Aleister Black can be something big in the WWE if built up right. Aleister Black needs to be pushed. No reason to not push the guy. You either go all in with Aleister Black or bust. I'm telling you right now. Aleister Black deserves to be pushed. And no reason to not push him. Very happy that Aleister Black is back. And then we go backstage with the Street Profits, confronting the Dirty Dogs of Rude and Ziggler, who are starting to grow on me a little bit, slowly as of late. Street Profits were hoping for another title shot, which Dirty Dogs and Street Profits again for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, which I hope is not the case. It should be the Mysterios and Rude and Ziggler for the SmackDown Tag Team titles next, to be totally honest. And then Bayley interrupts the interview and she talks about her title shot against Bianca for the SmackDown Women's title at Backlash. Bayley says she gave Belair the opportunity to work with her, and Belair never thanked her for the opportunity. Bayley vows to reclaim her title and her spot atop the division. Montez Ford then calls Bianca on his phone, and the EST says she'll be right there. And then that was that. Bayley and Bianca, SmackDown Women's title at Backlash, made official. Now, does this make sense? No, it doesn't. Because what's Bayley done? But if it leads to Sasha, Bianca again, but for it to be more meaning, then okay. But I mean, though it should be a good match at Backlash, but I don't expect Bayley to win, nor should she win. Bianca should retain. But those are my thoughts on all that. And then we go to commercial. Then after the commercial, Belair then confronts Bayley and dares her to insult her to her face. Bayley then backtracks and says she's honored to face Belair. Bianca, she walks away and comes back and laughs at Belair before she walks away again. And then that was that. And then we get the next match, Rey and Dominic Mysterio, the Mysterios, versus Chad Gable and Otis of the Alpha Academy. We got the Mysterios win this match after Rey hit Gable with the 619 followed by a frog splash. The Mysterios beat Otis and Gable. Now, a good match here. Mysterios win this thing in a decent match. Mysterios win this thing in a decent match, but this match, tag team match, you're not going to believe this. It was competitive. And a shocker, we should get this more often. Wow, what a concept. You have two tag teams in a competitive tag team match to get a win of momentum. Wow, what a concept. If they did this more often, I would not be bitching and complaining as much. We got a competitive tag team match with these two teams on SmackDown last week. We should get this more often. And Mysterious went on to have some momentum. Wow, what a concept. They did this more often, I would not be bitching and complaining as much. We should see this more often. This was a decent match here with the Mysterios winning. None of the Mysterios have momentum. And then we get the main event segment of SmackDown last week. Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. Cesaro says he's waiting for Roman to hear. He says he's waiting to hear Roman's answer. Roman comes to the ring, angry that Cesaro dared to challenge him. He stares Bryan down and says he has never liked him. He states that he'll give Bryan one more shot at his title. It'll be next week on SmackDown, which is SmackDown tonight. Cesaro tells Bryan you have to take it. You have to take it. But then Reigns says, under one condition. Reigns says, when Bryan loses that match, he never wants to see Bryan on his show SmackDown ever again. He wants him to disappear from SmackDown. Bryan agrees and accepts the challenge to close SmackDown last week. And that was that. The stakes are high and the match is set for the match for SmackDown, which is tonight, with the Universal title match between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. And if Daniel Bryan loses, he's off SmackDown. Now, Daniel Bryan's contract is coming up. Now, Daniel Bryan's current contract is expiring this September. I'm hearing rumors of Bryan wanting to wrestle for WWE and other companies. I'm hearing rumors of that. I'm hearing rumors Bryan may stay with the company, but he wants to go part-time because he wants to be a father, wants to be a full-time dad. Daniel Bryan wants to be a full-time dad. Now, this match should be very good. And I like the fact that Roman doesn't wrestle every SmackDown. Like, champions don't really need, they don't really need to wrestle on SmackDown every single week. And Roman doesn't wrestle every week, and it's like an attraction. And when Roman does wrestle on SmackDown, it's a big deal, and Roman feels special at that. Roman doesn't need to wrestle every week, and if he did, he wouldn't feel special anymore. And I like the fact that Roman doesn't wrestle every week. Roman doesn't need to wrestle every week. The only time he wrestles on SmackDown is when it's a big fucking deal. Which, leading to the next episode of SmackDown, which is tonight, leading to the next episode of SmackDown, which is tonight, it's a big fucking deal. Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Universal Championship on the line. If Bryan loses, he's off SmackDown. That's a big fucking deal. And that's a must-watch. Just like tonight's SmackDown is must-watch too. But, yeah. Now, who do I think is winning? I think it's Roman. Roman should not lose that title. Roman's a god right now. He's untouchable right now. Why would you take the title off Roman right now? When you have someone else along the line who is close enough to Roman, if not better than Roman in terms of momentum and all, then that's when you take the title off Roman. If that's not the case, Roman should have a reign like Kaylee Ray and Walter. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. So I think Roman's beating Bryan, and I think Roman retains the Universal title. Daniel Bryan, what do I think happens with him? He may not leave WWE, but I'm predicting Bryan loses and Daniel Bryan goes to Monday Night Raw. Because Monday Night Raw, they can't survive with the roster they have currently. Right now, Drew McIntyre, I like him, but he ain't drawing shit on Raw. Bobby Lashley, I like him too, and he was booked perfectly in 2020. But Bobby Lashley, he's not doing shit for Raw either. Braun Strowman, the guy's a one-trick pony. Braun Strowman's a one-trick pony. Because that's all Braun Strowman does is run fast. Raw can't survive with the current roster they have right now. So I think Roman beats Bryan. Bryan's off SmackDown. Bryan goes to Raw. That's what I think. And then Daniel Bryan goes to Monday Night Raw. He wins the WWE title. Daniel Bryan's on Raw. Daniel Bryan's the WWE champion on Monday Night Raw. Then you call up Adam Cole. And then you do a Raw program with the WWE title on the line between Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan. I think that would be awesome. And Raw needs something bad. Raw is the worst show on television. Things need to change on Raw. They really do. Oh, but the Raw roster and all, it's not that bad, man. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Just look who they have on the main event program seen on Raw. It's garbage. It's fucking garbage. T-Bar, Mace, Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre. That's the best you got? It's the best you got? Things need to change on Raw. Things need to change on Raw. I think Roman beats Bryan. And I think Bryan leaves SmackDown. And I think Bryan goes to Raw. Or Edge and Daniel Bryan they still have unfinished business. What if Edge comes out and he costs Bryan the title and the SmackDown job? And what if we do in SummerSlam, there's going to be this August, and it's going to be in front of fans. Or what if you do all that, and then you do, or what if you do Edge coming out and costing Bryan the championship and the SmackDown job, and then it leads to Edge and Bryan at SummerSlam this August in a no DQ type match or unsanctioned match, and the Bryan wins, he gets his job back. Similar to Takeover New Orleans with Gargano and Ciampa, with when Johnny Gargano beat Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano got his job back with NXT. They could relive that, but this time they could relive that again, but this time with Edge and Daniel Bryan. That could very well happen too. But we'll see what happens. But really good show with SmackDown last week. SmackDown tonight should be a good show. I know it came on 2 minutes ago, but I'm about to watch it shortly. But SmackDown last week, a good show. And tonight's SmackDown looking like a must-watch as well. And that is that. And a good SmackDown last week. And tonight's SmackDown should be a good show. So tonight's SmackDown looking like a must-watch show. Tonight's what you got. Paul Cruz and Big E in a WrestleMania rematch for the IC title. And then you got Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan for the Universal title. And if Daniel Bryan loses, you leave SmackDown. Should be a really good show. SmackDown tonight. SmackDown last week was a good show. Tonight's SmackDown should be a good show tonight as well, hopefully. And that is that. Follow me on Twitter at FioriNick579. Follow me on Instagram at NicholasFiori2014. And follow me on Facebook at Nicholas_Fiori31. And hit the like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to the Fiori Station YouTube channel as well, guys, if you've not done so already. For those of you who are new watching this and for those of you new to the channel. And hit the bell for all notifications as well while you're at it so you get notified and all. And that is that, folks. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Nick Fiori, Fiori Station YouTube channel. And thank you guys so much for joining me for the SmackDown review for SmackDown from last week, from April 23rd of 2021. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope you guys liked the video and all. And I will see you next time here in the channel for more good content right here on the Fiori Nation YouTube channel, right here on YouTube.com. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you guys later.